Hello once again, Niner faithful, and welcome to any Patriots fans that may be joining us today. Johnny Dell back with another episode of 49ers Playbook, the channel that's trying to answer the whys and hows of the game. Today we're going to take a look at a scouting preview of our upcoming opponent, the New England Patriots. This game features two of the brightest minds on their sides of the ball facing off against one another. Bill Belichick has been one of the best defensive minds in football for the past 30 plus years, and Kyle Shanahan has been known as an offensive wizard following in the footsteps of his dad. While Jimmy G supporters would love to see him go into Foxborough on Sunday and silence the doubters, I just don't see it in this game. This game is going to be a slugfest, which seems very different from what these teams were in their respective glory years. New England has been terrible in the passing game this year. The only game they had a quarterback throw for more than 165 yards was in Week 2 versus Seattle, and even with throwing for 397 yards in that game, they are still 26th in passing. They are second in rushing, however, and San Francisco must contain the rush and force New England's receivers to beat them. On the other side, New England has been solid against the pass, ranking 9th in the league this year, and what I saw on film was, in my opinion, the best man coverage team in the league. The key will be if the 49ers can establish the run game on the edges and force New England to play zone. If we can't do that and our receivers are tasked with beating New England's coverage guys, this game will not go well for San Francisco. But let's jump to the film and see some examples of what I'm talking about. You're watching Johnny Dell's Football Academy. Like I said in the opener, New England plays man coverage really well. Specifically, they play a lot of cover 1 and will either sit with a lurk defender or come with a 5-man pressure. When I watched their game against Denver, I repeatedly saw Drew Lock going for the fool's gold, the deep throws to the outside where their cover 1 would seem vulnerable. Here, Denver is going to try and hit a tight end on a wheel route. They first come with run action to try and draw the safety up and run interference with the receiver to hit the tight end on a deep route. Jonathan Jones plays this really well though. He never bites on the run action, and so he stays over the top of the attempted interference and on top of the tight end's route, playing it really well all the way. Drew Lock though still tries to get the ball to his tight end, and it's an incomplete pass. The next play, they're again going to try and go after Jonathan Jones. This time, they're going to put their speedster Jerry Jeudy on a wheel route. They want to get interference again. This time they're going to try and run the outside defender up into Jones. But New England plays their spacing really well, and Jones maintains his leverage and it's just tight coverage the whole way for another incomplete pass, which forces Denver to kick a field goal. This time it's 3rd and 2 and New England plays this really well. They're going to motion a receiver across, which reveals man coverage. New England, though, plays a pattern matching man coverage sometimes, and this is a perfect example. Denver is trying to run a rub play. You can see the safety as he's following the receiver, signaling the crisscrossing routes, alerting the other defenders to switch off their guys. They're going to run a spot concept here that would create interference by running a short curl and corner routes as interference on a defender trailing the motioning receiver who would get the ball in the flat on 3rd and 2. New England plays this so well. First, you see the outside corner lets the vertical release go and picks up Jeudy on the flat route. Winovich then helps the tight end to double him short. Drew Lock then tries to throw it deep, and Jones is in good enough position to make the play, and the ball isn't thrown well enough. So how do the 49ers beat this New England pass defense? We have to run the ball. Here, it's 3rd and short, and Denver is going to get a nice gain in the run game by faking the bubble screen and hitting the inside zone. And what this does and what it will do is then change how New England will play defense. I saw this several times in the game. If New England got beat in the run game, they went to a zone defense for a couple things. The very next play, New England comes with a 5-man front to contain the edge and brings in a 3rd safety, and they will play a soft cover 2 zone. Denver doesn't get the chunk play they were looking for, but does get 4 yards to keep them on schedule. So the next play, New England comes out and is going to run cover 3 zone with a 4-man front. and now Jonathan Jones is the forced defender. This is a win if we can get this matchup. Jones is very good in coverage, not so good against a tight end in the run game. Imagine this play with George Kittle blocking Jones. That's a win all day. If we can run the ball and force New England into their 5-man front, we can get Kittle, Debo, and our running backs going in the passing game. As New England will be playing a soft cover 2 in these cases. Here, Denver is able to get the ball to the tight end after they clear out the outside cloud and hit the tight end on a drag route. We could use plays like this or one of Kyle's favorite concepts, the Ohio. In the last game versus the Rams, Kyle used the Ohio concept to get Kittle the ball. The Ohio consists of a protection release fade, where the receiver tries to release to the outside shoulder of the cloud defender to widen him to protect the quick out, and then a quick out that will look to get into the area just vacated by the fade. With New England playing so soft on these, you can see what Denver's tight end was able to do after the catch. Think of George Kittle or Debo Samuel with the ball in their hands after the catch on these plays. The key though will be the run game to set up the passing game and running the ball well in the red zone. When Denver got into the red zone several times, they kept trying to throw it against New England's defense, and they are just too good. In the red zone, they can sit with the deep middle safety closer to the line of scrimmage and help in the run game, and so you will see man coverage down there. They just play it so well. Here, Denver is going to try all sorts of interference to get a player open. They come out in a bunch set with the running back to that side. They're going to try and release the inside receiver on a deep over route, looking to create interference for a shallow crossing concept. They also send the running back out into the flat for the same thing. This is all to create traffic for man defenders to follow their guys through and get picked off. New England just plays this so incredibly well. Watch how they navigate this traffic. They do such a good job of maintaining levels, that is, playing receivers at different depths so they don't get picked. Gilmore plays off and drops back, getting out of the way of the linebacker on the running back. The linebacker steps up to not get into Gilmore as well, but not too far so he doesn't get in the way of the other corner, who then tucks underneath all the wash. On the backside, the other corner is able to navigate underneath the deep over and over the top of the lurk defender who was there to help on the crossing route, whose defender had to go under all the traffic. That's just kind of jaw-dropping how well they do that in real time. It would be one thing if they did it just once, but the next play they'll do it again. Here, Denver is going to try and get different rubs again. They're going to look to hit the running back on a wheel route, so they run a slant route at the running back's man defender to create interference. But watch Gilmore on this play. He reads the play, knows he has inside help with a lurk defender, and steps back and out of the way of the running back's man, who is able to come over clean and stay in position. You can see Locke is looking that way, but the running back is covered. If we rewind it, look at the other side. They want to release the tight end vertical to create interference for the other tight end on a drag route. But they use the outside linebacker to jam him while his man defender steps up to allow his teammate to go over the top, knowing the lurk defender is there on that route. As you can see, Drew Lock looks to that route second, and it's covered as well, and he has to eat a sack. This is just an incredibly good job of playing coverage and team defense. And I just don't see the 49ers making a ton of plays dropping back and passing against these guys. While I love our guys, New England is just so good at this. The keys for getting our offense going will be to run the ball. On defense is pretty simple. Contain the run and don't let Cam Newton run. New England's passing offense has been dreadful and their receivers have really struggled getting separation. If we can do that, we'll shut their offense down. The key will be to not allow Cam Newton to take off and run. We've struggled with this the past couple years, and so that's the X factor in this game. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and like and subscribe if you did, and don't forget to turn on the notifications so you're alerted to when a video goes live. I do think the 49ers have a good chance to come out of Foxborough with a win this Sunday, and it will be an interesting matchup to watch. If you'd like to support the channel in any way, I'll have links for that below, and as always, you can interact with me on Twitter, Reddit, 49erswebzone.com in the forum section, or in the comments below. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Niners.